What is up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, coming back at you tonight to continue our lake breakdown of Lake Lanier. This thing is massive. It's going to take us a while to do. We've already gone through all of the Google Earth stuff for Lake Lanier, right? We covered all of that. So if you missed any of that, go look at the lake breakdown playlist out on Simplistic Fishing and you'll see all those videos. Now we're kind of switching gears. We talked about in the last video, we went down to the south section. And we talked about all the offshore opportunities that were down there. And maybe not all of them, but a lot of the key ones, right? I can't mark every single offshore hotspot. I'd pretty much have to fish the lake for years in order to be able to figure that out. But based on the contours, we were able to really point out some of the key spots that you should probably go look at when you're fishing Lake Lanier. Well, tonight, we're gonna move up to what we call the midsection, which is basically right down here, right above the bridge right here, all the way up until the next two bridges that you see on the right side. So we're going to cover those. I don't know if we'll be able to cover all the offshore hotspots tonight, but we're definitely going to attempt to see how many we can get done tonight in the 30 minutes that we have. So real quick, just a friendly reminder, if you want all these waypoints, the Google Earth ones plus the offshore ones, you can always go out to our website, simplisticfishing.com, and you can either get the SD card or you can get the digital files. If you get the digital files, we'll send you a link and you basically take the files, copy them to a card, and then import them into your graph. If you don't want all these waypoints on your graph and you want some more functionality and have everything in the palm of your hands, we just launched the Simplistic Fishing mobile app. You can get it out on the App Store or Google Play. I've got lots of enhancements coming. One of the biggest ones that's coming is later on in May, you're going to see the contours on the Simplistic Fishing map as well, or sorry, on the Simplistic Fishing app as well. So you'll not only get the satellite imagery, but you'll get the contours, putting all of it together in one app. It should be really, really awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into this thing. Here we are, Lake Lanier. We're gonna start down here by the bridge down here, and then we're gonna work our way up the east side, all the way up until we pretty much hit another bridge, and then we're gonna work our way back down the west side. So let's just talk about some of the stuff that we found here. Some of this stuff's gonna be really obvious, and some of the stuff is probably not going to be, as obvious, especially to some of you that may be early to fishing or newer to fishing. So again, I couldn't mark every single hotspot on this. If I did, I'd have 1,000 different marks over there for you guys to check. What I'm hoping for is I can mark some of these really obvious ones for you, and then you can be able to take that information and map out even more spots for yourself. So let's go ahead, let's jump into this. First thing we see right here, right, this rounded point, really good flat top on it with some really good breaks. Those are always good. If you can't find them out here, come into the inside where that little break is and see if you can find them in here. A lot of times they'll be hanging out right in here, kind of right where that little hook is. You've got another flat top that's up here as well. These flat top points, they're awesome for like morning fishing, or really all day fishing, but in the morning you can get up there with top waters on some of these really flat ones, and you can really, really have a good time in the late spring, early summer. So definitely take advantage of those. These are also gonna be good places just to go out and drag Carolina rigs, or maybe just do some deep cranking, stuff like that, drop shots, swim baits, underspins, all kinds of fun stuff you can throw out here. Wobble heads, just go crazy. Here's another good point right here. Again, out here, this is kind of an underwater one. It's about 20 something foot out here. It's 19 foot, I think, at the top. But I love how that comes out and has that little ridge there. It's probably got a hard spot there. If you remember from the other videos, we marked all the hard spots. So if you see an offshore spot combined with a hard spot, you definitely want to go try to check those out. Those are typically going to be really good places to find fish. We come out here over this point, we've got another good spot. It's all buoyed up right here so you can see it, but a really good spot right in there. Really nice flat top, comes out about 12 foot on the top. It's gonna be perfect for cranking and all that good stuff. And then let's keep moving on up and see what else we found. This little stretch in here, I didn't find anything that really jumped out to me. That doesn't mean there's not offshore spots from this point all the way to here. I'm sure there are. You can probably find some back in here. Like if we zoom in, maybe you're looking at this point right in here. This one looks pretty good. Even right here, this could be a nice secondary point. But just nothing really popped out to me big time that says, hey, go check that out. If there was, it'd probably be that one right there because it sticks out so much. All right, so let's keep moving on up and see what else we found up in this area. So we get up into this area, a couple good things here. One, we got another one of those points right here, right? And the key thing about this point is if you look right here, if you see the little blue line that's going right here, that means there's an old roadbed there. So you've got a roadbed and a point. You can't go wrong. Now, if I zoom in here a little bit, you're also gonna see this has got a nice little island out here, like an underwater island or an underwater point, if you wanna say. It looks like an island. So you definitely wanna try that. It's probably a hard spot as well. Again, another one of these spots where it's pretty flat on the points and then it goes over and tapers pretty quickly. A good point right there as well. Really good rounded point right here that has really good tapering off of it. And then another spot that I didn't mark but you could check out would be right here, right? These points right here that lead, that split, you know, they'll split like the cove and you'll come to the point and then it splits on both arms. Typically those points will hold fish. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are going to hold fish. Those are really good places to try to find fish for sure. All right, let's keep moving up. I'm gonna zoom back out here real quick, show you where I'm at. This is gonna get confusing as all get out. I'm right here where it says Twin Rivers. So I'm gonna zoom in. Let's see what we can find out here. So around this island, obviously that looks like a pretty good spot. Nice flat top out there, just looks pretty healthy. The saddle looks really good as well. You've got a roadbed that runs through here that comes right on top of this kind of flat area that comes out. It's like a huge flat point that comes out. It's only 17 foot on top. This is actually a little bit shallower, I think, as well. So really good spot to locate some fish there. And then let's go over here by this little junction island. Off the island, you know, everybody's like, well, you got to fish around the island. Well, that's a pretty big island. Where do I fish around the island? Well, if I'm looking at this, the place that I'm going to fish at is going to be right up here because you can just tell it's different. It's different than everything else, right? It's got a nice flat top. My guess is it's probably got some rock or something like that that's creating that. And again, anytime you get that hard spot in there, that changes the game. You definitely want to fish those places where you can find those hard spots. So look in there for sure, see what you can find. And then while you're there, we'll just go ahead and move on down here and see what else we have in here. So another good point right here, right? Comes off nice flat tops, got the nice roadbed right there. That one looks really good. This one looks good too. Another good point back in there. And then as we move further back in here, obviously there's, again, a ton of spots I could have marked because there's so many different points here. Like there's this one right here, there's this one right here. But I tried to just kind of pick the high percentage ones. I'm thinking this is going to be the high percentage one just the way it sits up. And then this one's probably a high percentage one too, just because it does that little fork that I was telling you about before. But if I was here and I was fishing those two, I would definitely come over here and check this one out. All right, let's keep moving up, see what else we can find. We're up here by the River Fork Park now. And as we come up here, let's check out these couple islands out here. Let's zoom in here and take a look at them. Again, one here, what are we looking for? We're looking for anything that's different around the island, because if we can find anything that's different, that's probably where they're gonna be. So right here, boom, stands out like a sore thumb. It's a nice shallow spot, like a point that comes off of that island. That's gonna be good. Over here, if you look at this one, I think that's an island. We'll have to zoom over there and look, but you can see right here, that's got a really nice flat top and then a huge break right off the sides. You probably got a pretty decent little ledge there. Out here, you kind of got the same thing, pretty shallow up here off the edge corner of this, and then a major break. Same thing, major break. Over here, you got the major breaks that are going on this side of the island. This is a lot shallower. And then if you zoom into here on this little corner, it looks like it can be productive as well, just based on the way that the contours look. All right, let's move on up, see what else we can find up here. Now we're gonna go up here by Mill Ridge. So we got Mill Ridge over here. We got these submerged bridges out here. There's the island we just talked about. So let's talk about this one out in the middle. I don't know if this island has a name or not. But let's look at it because it looks really cool. Look at this giant flat that it has off the side of it. 10, 11 foot. All kinds of good spots you could probably look at here. But if I was going out here to scan this, there's a couple spots I'm going to look at. One, I'm going to go right here where this point is. I'm going to come over here because we've got these little hooks that are in here. So I'm going to scan around in here. And I'm probably going to come over here and scan this too. And then while I'm there, since I'm already there, I'm definitely going to come over here where I told you where it tapers off and you get those little bends like that. I'm going to look right in here too and just see it. More than likely, if they're here, they're going to be in one of those spots, kind of all the corners of that thing. Or they could be way up on top just feeding like crazy. And if that's the case, you're in business because it's just going to be a feeding frenzy on that huge flat. All right, let's back this back out a little bit. Talk about the top of that island too. I think we missed that part, but the top of that island's got the same type thing. It's got this big flat that comes out, and look at the hook that you get there. So right in here is probably going to be your more, you're likely to have a higher percentage area there. That's not to say that they're not going to be out here or something like that, but I would start there and just kind of work your way around it. All right, let's move back over here. We talked about this Mill Ridge area, so let's jump in here and see what we can find down in this Mill Ridge area. One, this point looks awesome, right? Same type thing we've been looking at. We're gonna see a lot of the same things as we go throughout this lake, just based on the way the contours are. But these shallow, flat points are gonna be key to finding fish. So we've got one here, we've got one here, this is more of a rounded point, and you're probably wondering, well, why would you mark that? Well, look at the contours. Look how dark those contours are right where that marker is. See where it gets lighter and then really dark? That means you've got some really, really, really good, like steep drops right in there. So you'll definitely want to look in those areas. Plus, it's just coming off of a point, so that's going to make it good as well. All right, let's go in here. If we look just really far back, so we don't spend too much time here, we get back in the backs of these things. There are a couple points back here you'll want to check out. You can see these. There's a creek channel that runs right here, and it touches this one. It doesn't touch this one, but it does touch this point right here. So if you're taking the time to come back in here and try these two, definitely try that one right there, because that creek channel looks like it swings right up against there. We may have already had something marked there from the Google Earth side, but just looking at it from a contour perspective, that looks like a good point as well. Let's zoom back out here and take a look at this island. This island's got kind of the same things, right? Those shallow, flat tops. It's got 3 of them on each side. This island comes out here, and in this island, it looks pretty good too. It's only, what, 12 foot on top, something like that. Has a nice big flat areas all beside of it. Look at this point. This one looks juicy, juicy, juicy. All right, let's keep going back. I'm the only one that gets excited about seeing offshore spots, I think. All right, let's keep moving. See what else we can find out here. One, we got this nice little island out here. This one looks pretty cool. Probably pretty deep, but definitely out there. But if you find something out there, you may just want to do some exploring, like all around this area. These little humps that are out here, and just see. But you're getting pretty deep water. But this one doesn't look too bad. This one's 15, 16 foot. It's perfect. And then I don't know what the heck happened with that marker. It's out in the middle of nowhere, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. All right, let's keep moving down, see what else we can find. Don't see too much in there. We do have this little point over here. I feel like most of the points that I picked have got a buoy on them. So either they're marking them because they're shallow, or they're marking them because they're fishing spots. Probably because they're shallow. Let's look at these. These all look awesome, right? You got rock here. That's what that little symbol is. We got rock on this hump. It's about 20 to 25 foot. We've got a really good point right here with those breaks I was telling you about. We got a nice flat top right here too. Really cool. And it's really hard to see, but there's dotted lines right here. I don't know if you can see them on YouTube or not, but this is the creek bed. So that creek bed's basically going like this, and it's swinging up, and it's hitting this point right here, just barely. And then it's really getting pinched into this area right in here. So between this point and that point, and probably even this point, there's got to be fish somewhere right in there with that creek bed being right in there. So spend some time looking back in there, and then as you slaughter them there on those 2 points, you can come over here and just whack them out here too, because you're going to find them out here on these points, these humps that come out. They've got those hard spots we keep talking about, all that good stuff. All right, let's move up a little bit. Now we're up here by Gainesville Marina, and let's just take a look at some of the things that were out here. Obviously, again, can't mark them all, but some of the things that really jumped out to me here. One is definitely going to be this little point that's back here, right? You've got this creek channel or something going on back here. It doesn't really show a creek channel, but from the contours, it looks like something was there at some point in time. So right there around that bend, you've got this flat that's over here. So you could try this right where the break's off. If you can't find them there, switch over to the other side and do the same thing. Find out where that break is and look right around where that break is. All right, right in here, we've also got the flat that's up here too. Got some pretty interesting stuff. Looks like you might have a ledge up here or something like that, but just kind of look around those areas, see if you can find anything there. This one comes out. Most people probably don't even realize this is here, but there's a hump right here right outside the break wall at 21 foot. That could be good. Definitely take a look at it. All right, let's keep going. We've actually made it up to the bridge now. It's pretty cool. So we're making progress. And we're about 15 minutes in, so we're doing good. So let's keep looking here. We got another one of these points here. This one looks really cool as well. Look at all the contours around this point. It's flat right here. Like if I click that, it's 10 foot right there. It is 27 foot right there. So you got a ledge, you got a nice point, you got all kinds of good stuff going out there, and it's pretty much main lake, right? It's fairly close, not really close, but fairly close to the river channel. So you got access to deeper water, all that good stuff. All right, so there's the bridge. Let's go ahead and swing back around. We're gonna start going down this west side and see what we can find over here. So as we move up in here, let's just look at some of these things that are over here. One, again, another one of those nice little flat top points, right there. This one, you got a little rounded point with that break we keep talking about. This dock just looks like it's set in a money spot, so I marked it because it's got all kinds of ledges going on right behind it. It's really deep. That's the deepest dock in the whole area. Just something about that dock just said, hey, you better mark this. So I marked it. Then here, same type thing, right? Same thing here. This one's got a nice, make sure I didn't miss anything back out there. This is a nice, long, extended point, right? These are good places to go in the summertime, and they're also great places to go in the fall. Because they love those long extended points, chasing bait around them and stuff like that. Those can be some really good spots. The cool thing about this point too is it's surrounded by creek channels. So you've got a creek channel that's up here, right? And you've also got a creek channel that's over here. So it literally, this one swings this way and then swings back up, almost hits the side of the point. So you're probably gonna find some good stuff right in here, or on top of it, or out here, just somewhere around this area. You need to do a lot of scanning. But likely you're probably gonna find more like right in here, in this area, or they're just gonna be out here on top just going nuts. All right, let's move on down. Now you can see where we are. It says Point View, Landing, and Crown Point. So that's kind of two, if you're trying to follow me along, that's kind of the two areas that I'm at. So one is gonna be this main lake point that's out here, that little rounded point with the big drops. This is another one of those flat points that come out. Could be a good feeding spot. Right here as well, main lake point, nice flat top. Just obvious places you're gonna go check out, right? Same type thing here. Look at the ledge that's created out there. It's 14 foot right there. And then right here, it's 80 foot, 55 foot. Something's going on right in there, right? So check that out. Same type thing coming on down in here. We've got the long point that's out here. Here's that island we talked about. You got another hump that's out here as well. I should have said hump instead of island. Hump that's out here as well. We talked about this little island, so we could skip that one, but that's that little area there. We come down here from an offshore standpoint, probably gonna stay out here more around these islands. And really, again, just looking for the good stuff around these islands. I see a spot that I probably missed, but this island, I went for more the steeper side, right? Because the rest of it all looks the same, and then this is where it gets steeper. But over here, there's actually a hump over here at 11 foot. So you may want to check out right in here. Because I don't know, I could be totally wrong, but I'd probably have more of a chance of finding fish right here on the top of this 11 foot one around it than I would over here in this really steep stuff. But of course, I say that I'd go out there and this is where I'd find the fish. All right, we got the same type thing over here up this side, a really good break. It's got a little bit of a point that comes out, but real good break right off the side of there. Same thing here, it's kind of rounds off, and then right there is where you get that break. Same thing here, just another rounded point you want to check out. If you look up in here where it says shallow area, nice little secondary point that's up there. And then if we come down in here, we got some offshore stuff going on here. We got a couple humps that are out here you can check out. We've got a nice point that comes out here that's got those really cool looking contours that I always like to fish around, right? Super sharp, super steep, and then boom, it comes up to this shallow flat. They like getting right on those corners. This one right here is good. That's good. Look at this one right here, right off the edge of that island. Real big break, but a nice flat top up the edge of it before it breaks off. All right, let's move on down here. We're gonna go to Cameron Point now, see what we can find around Cameron Point. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so we can see everything here. We got the back side of this island, looks really good, right? It's that flat top point again. Here's that point with the ledge, right? Here's a nice rounded point. It has a decent little flat top on it. That one's not too exciting to me. I'd probably be more excited about hopefully finding some fish out in here than I would there, but it's the places that you least expect is typically where you find them. We also got this spot right up here that looks good. And if you're up here scanning around and you remember this video, go over here as well. See this right here? Because really what we're looking for is we're looking for things that are different. And of course, shallow and flat are kind of really good things, right? Because you got a lot of steepness that's on this lake. So if you can find those shallow, flat spots that lead off to a really steep spot, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape. And that's mainly what we're marking here, right? Is these shallow spots that are really close to deep stuff, or these shallow points that come out. These are great places to find fish as well. Okay, let's keep moving over here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come around this big junction island. It's gonna be massive. Let's see if I can zoom in enough to just show them all to you. All right, so up here, this little pinch point that's up in here, this is kind of, you know, fishing around that point where the end of that pinch point comes could probably be good. You can see here, you got a long extended point here with the flat top, same thing here. You got a hump that's out here. Another one of those big, long extended points coming off of here. You got a saddle back here between this island. You got 3 humps that are out here you could check out in this area. This one here, we'll have to zoom in because it's kind of hard to tell, but basically you're fishing in that saddle between the island and the point. And there could be some pretty good breaks in there. Those are typically just good areas to find fish where that little area between the island and the point are. Same thing here, right? But this one's actually got a pretty decent little ledge. You can see how steep it is right off the side of it. Real good point over here as well. Same type thing out here, right? These little islands just have little points that come off of them. And so you'll want to check those out. And then you got a nice little hump that's out here too that looks pretty good. So moving on up to the edge of this, we're going to actually stop. We're going to stop right over here. So we're going to finish up here and then we'll stop right here. That way we have enough to do our next video. All right, so let's keep going. We've got these points that are out here, right? 10 foot on top. This point looks juicy. Look at the breaks that other one has. This one looks awesome too. 9, 10 foot on top. Really good breaks all around it. If I zoom in here, kind of move on up, we'll cover the whole thing while we're going through here, but you can see it's the same thing throughout this whole thing. It's either going to be a rounded point with good breaks, or it's going to be a point that has a flat top on it, or a hump. Pretty much, for the most part, that is this lake in a nutshell. So you can see them all that I've marked here. This is another one of those points, flat top, good little rounded point with some good breaks that are right there. We move up in here. We got a couple good spots, really good point that comes off there. This one looks interesting as well. This one's got those really good breaks. There's that shallow point. And let's see why I marked this dock. I think I marked it because it's a super, super deep dock again. It's kind of isolated out there and it's a super deep dock, and the creek bed comes right up beside it as well. So you'll definitely want to take a look at that one. All right, so let's go down here. Let's change this little marker right here. We're going to change him to this anchor so I know where to stop next time. And when you come back on the next one, we're going to start right there at that little orange marker, and we'll work our way back down to right in here. Probably won't take us too long, and that'll cover us for the Lake Lanier midsection. And then we're going to go up and we're going to work on these 2 sections. I believe that was Highway 47, but I could be wrong. Can't remember, get all my highways mixed up, but we'll have one section where we're going to cover this side for the offshore, and we'll have another one for this side for the offshore, and that will complete everything. So again, guys, make sure to go out, help us out, support our channel, and go out, check out simplisticfishing.com. You can get the SD card, you can get the digital files, and you can also go download the app in Google Play or the Apple Store and really be able to take full advantage of these, filtering waypoints, saving waypoints, creating new ones, all that good stuff. It's all within the app. Go check it out. It's got a 3-day free trial too, so it doesn't cost you anything to try it out. Anyways, until next time, guys, I hope